It's been so long since I've done a video, but I need to do one for this project. So, I like to have my students write ethnographic analyses of different writing cultures. It's a thing that I do. I do have a video on this project that is a general approach to doing an online ethnography. And ethnography is just basically writing about culture, if you break down the word, or writing out about people groups, that kind of thing. So an ethnographic analysis is any time you're writing about culture. It's a very common genre in the social sciences and humanities and all that fun stuff. It's the kind of and anthropology. It's the kind of thing you hear about people going to like Papua New Guinea and studying a tribe, and they're doing ethnography. That's what that is. For this project, it has it's going to be looking specifically at the culture, the writing culture of a classroom. So it's not just a generic culture. It's not some random thing. It is specifically the writing culture, or the writing practices, beliefs, and norms of a particular environment or location or people group. And so in this case, whatever classroom a student picks or a writer picks, they would analyze how writing is done, what sort of values or beliefs or conventions are present in that environment, and how it changes the way people think about writing or perceive writing, who does it, who's allowed to do it. And so when we're talking about writing culture in a classroom, it may be the things that a student writes. It may be the things that a teacher creates to materials for the class. It could be textbooks, handouts, it could be side conversations, it could be notes, all kinds of different ways writing shows up in a classroom. So this is an ethnographic analysis of a classroom writing culture. And so that it's not crazy and hard to pin down, I am not having students write with this project. It is not about any part of the culture connected to writing. We'll zoom in and we'll cover two specific lenses that you can analyze. So writing systems and writing technologies. So writing systems, we should have covered in my class, but you can also just go look them up. They are different forms of language, and so there could be pictographic, logographic, phonographic, phonological, alphabetic, and even and so there's a bunch of different things, a bunch of different types of writing systems you could look for. You could look at how the language of math shows up and talk about the writing systems in math. Is it pictographic, alphabetic, numeric? What is it? Are people counting on their fingers and it's somatic? And if that doesn't make sense, go back and watch my other video on writing systems, because I have one. It's cool. Also, writing technologies, I have one or two videos on this. There are also some great readings by The History of Writing Technologies by Brian Gabriel. I've got a couple sources I use from I believe it's Tim Peoples' 2003 kind of anthology of things on professional and technical writing, and so he talks about, and so he's got two articles embedded into one of those chapters that other people write, and it travels from like how spacing between words count as writing technologies, all the way to things like xerography and how we make copy machines and mimeographs and what the purpose of all that is. So there's a little bit of, even within these two lenses, there's a lot that anyone could choose to write about. What you want to do is pick something within those two categories that really stands out to you, that starts to be kind of interesting. What is the most interesting thing? Start there, and then just start helping us understand how writing technologies or writing systems are used, and where, how, and why the people use them in different ways, and how does it change or mediate that environment? How does it change the way, how do different writing technologies in that environment change the way people communicate with each other? Do different people use different writing technologies or writing practices? There are a lot of different ways into this, so find the things that are interesting to you. If you're looking at the requirements here, each semester or class may have a little bit different spin on this, and this is for one of my writing across the curriculum stretch courses that links up with an English 101. So I've got them looking for reliable sources, some from our required reading from our class. I do have my students using APA format because it is a more common style of format and citation than MLA when it comes to the university environment, and I'm trying to equip them there. And I require not just sources and reliable sources, but also the use of images, so documenting the classroom. If it's an online environment, because we're in COVID right now, if it's an online environment, you can do screenshots of different parts of the course and that sort of thing, and embed those into your essay. This essay, even though it has a lot connected to your own personal experience, ethnographic analyses sometimes can take on a personalized tone, almost like an autoethnography, which is self-written or reflective like an autobiography. But really we want you to make a shift into a more academic paper. So if it starts feeling like a personal narrative, that's not quite the genre we're looking for. We want your personal experience to motivate what you write, even if it's not explicitly I saw this, I did this, I think this in the essay. You want to let the star of the show in your essay with an ethnographic analysis and using academic voice. You want the star of the show to be what interesting things you're discovering and analyzing. So focus on that. If there are any questions about how do I apply writing systems and writing technologies, I do have in my assignment, I do have, I'll try and drop in this one analysis of different writing technologies in history I like to use. And again, the Gabriel piece starts talking about implication. There's tons of resources on specific writing technologies, which can be a lot of fun too. So there's tons of sources there. And if you're one of my students, you can always ask me. I think at the top of the assignment, I do have the number that says, call me at my cell phone or send me a text if you need anything or if you're confused or struggling. But basically, you were looking at the writing practices, norms, and conventions, and how writing systems, kind of the languages of the classroom, and writing technologies, the way that writing is produced in the classroom, changes the way that classroom operates or functions. And so this could be with manual technologies like pencils or electronic technologies like the software of Canvas or whatever learning management system you are using. If you're in a math class, you could look specifically at Desmos or MATLAB or whatever it is. So I do have example videos of applying math and writing systems to math classes and chemistry and stuff like that. You can go look at those for examples too. Hopefully this helps you wrap your head around what this project is looking for. Even if you've never heard of an ethnography before, I hope that now it makes a little more sense. And again, you're focusing in this version on specifically writing systems and writing technologies. Those are two different things. There's a hint of overlap in the middle with what I call linguistic technologies, which are basically writing systems. But if you have questions, text or email me on that. Thanks. Have fun. Have a good night.